In this lecture, we will just see what are the basic concepts of OOP. OOP means object-oriented programming. The main features of OOP are first one data abstraction, second data hiding, third one encapsulation, fourth one polymorphism, 5 inheritance. Okay. These all features are possible only because of the feature known as facility known as class and its objects. Okay, so I think now you all know what are class, how to define a class, declaration of objects, etc. Okay, so we will see first thing, that is data abstraction. So what do you mean by data abstraction? Data abstraction, it provides information without presenting the details. I will quote with an example of a switchboard. Okay, so a person has to go to the switchboard to either switch on or off, maybe fan or light. Okay, so that person has to go there, isn't it? And he or she doesn't need to know what are the connections made inside the switchboard. So that is the first thing. And the second thing is all the switches is grouped together to switchboard, isn't it? It is not randomly placed everywhere. Okay, so the person has to come to a one location, that is the place of the switchboard, to whatever operations, maybe switch on and off the fan or light, whatever be the purpose. So just like that, the C++ is giving the same facility with the help of data abstraction. I will take an example. See, here in this example, it is a class known as round with an object called circle. Here there are a private member, that is float radius, and a public function area. See, the user of this program, user of this program only have to enter the radius to get the area. See, the programmer is writing the code. The user only have to type the radius here to get the area. Okay, so he doesn't have to know all the codes to get the area, isn't it? So that is the first thing. Second thing is, all the functions, whatever be the operations I need for a circle can be grouped inside this thing, isn't it? Inside a class. Suppose I need to find the perimeter of a circle. What should I do? I should just have to incorporate one more function here, float perimeter, and whatever code I need to, or whatever equation I have to write is to write the equation for the perimeter here. Okay, so that is the second thing. So this particular C++ program with the help of a class is providing the feature known as data abstraction. And what was the second one? Second one was data hiding. Data hiding means hiding the information from the outside world. Hiding the information from the outside world. So here you know that there is a private member, no? Isn't it? So this private member is not accessible from the outside of this class. This you all know, isn't it? So this, with the help of this access specifiers, you are providing the feature known as data hiding. Okay, so here the radius is not accessible from the main function, but only accessible with the function inside this particular class. So again, C++ is giving the second feature known as data hiding with the help of a class and its object. Okay, and the third one is encapsulation. See, this feature is just like a capsule. Okay, what is a capsule? Capsule is helping the medicine which is inside the capsule, helping to protect that particular medicine, isn't it? So it is providing sufficient coating to protect the medicine inside that particular capsule. So just like that, in C++, with the help of this access specifiers and we are giving the facility known as encapsulation. See, this I have already discussed in data hiding and abstraction, isn't it? So, encapsulation is a combination of data abstraction and data hiding. Okay, and the fourth one is polymorphism. Okay, so this I will explain with an example here. See, the function overloading is a best example for polymorphism. See, the name polymorph means having different forms. Okay, so here you know that in the function overloading, I can operate with the same name but different operations here. With the change in the number of arguments, with the change in the data type of arguments, with the change in the return type of that function. So with the same name, so many forms or so many purposes can be served with the same name, isn't it? So that facility is known as polymorphism inside C++ language. Okay, so what is the last one? Last one is known as inheritance. Inheritance. Okay, so what is inheritance? Say, in the real world, a child acquires a feature of a parent, isn't it? Just like that, the C++ is also providing the same facility with the help of class and its objects. Okay, so in the class, we can actually derive certain classes from a parent class. So that is known as an inheritance. Okay, so there is certain method to define a derived class. What is a derived class? Derived class or child class is the class which inherits from the parent or base class. Okay, so what is the syntax? How to derive a class? The definition is the first thing should be the keyword class. So here there is an example. See here. First I should write class. Then the name of the derived class. Suppose I can give any name here. I am using line here. Okay. The name is line. Then the third thing is you have to put a single colon. Fourth one, you have to write the type of derivation. Here I can either put public or private or protected. So this is the type of derivation. And the last one is you have to write down the name of the parent class or the base class. So this is known as a child class. This is the parent class. Okay, child class is also known as derived class and parent class is also known as base class. Okay, so below, and you can put the braces, you can write down whatever the body of the child class, you can write down here, close the braces. Okay, so this is the way, this is the syntax to define a derived class. Okay, so